Welcome everyone to another day of Planet Nomads, where we are going to try out 2 new designs today, and only 2 because the third one is pricier than anything I have built yet. But we're going to start with the Golem Nomadic by the Griffin, and this is interesting. It's a floating food factory, originally by Marcus Aclea, which I've looked at his designs, and this has been repurposed now, and one reason that caught my attention is that it supports the containers, like freight containers, and then the containers with the lifter thing that I've already got built, like on the roof here. It supports that, so I want to actually try this out. And you can see here, it's got a good bit of resources. The higher resource count you might need to worry about, depending on what you're building, is, of course, you need some seeds, you'll need some fabric Mark 1, and then a decent bit of purified water. So here we are with the Golem Nomadic facility, little floating production facility. You can see right here, I have one of the docking pad areas. It's more of an open frame than the one that's actually designed by the creator of that cargo container option, but it's the same basic functionality, just the same thing stripped down and tied into the base itself, and very similar to what I was trying to build for it in terms of some of the way the legs are done. But yeah, basically you bring it in, and we've got again another one here, a conveyor connector that is not completed. So it may be a case, if we go look at this one, that these were just combined in from the original. Yeah, so it looks like they were taken from the original maybe, and all of them were just recolored and that was missed, or maybe that was left off for a particular reason, specifically to add some kind of function to it by not tying it in. You can see we've got blue on one side and green on the other, so you've got 2 different sides. There's also parking spots here for a different container, the freighter container, which has a slightly different way of doing things. It's more of a longer approach than that. So you have 2 different ways you can drop supplies into this, and this is meant to be a floating base, which is nice that it has solar panels on both sides, giving you plenty of solar power. But of course, we would not have a proper floating base without water production of some sort. And there is water production here. We also have, ooh, a nice little docking bay. You come in. You can see we have on each of these sides, we have 2 water pumps. Looks like that side is just for mobility, and that's for mobility, so no water pumps on this side. So the blue side is water pump, so yeah, deuterium production there. Green side would then be, I guess, you know, where you drop in your uranium supplies. We do have a little parking spot. You can have a little hover vessel that goes out and, you know, explores through the waterways. Of course, deuterium generator here. I bet if we go look at the other side, and oh, I gotta go up top to go that way, right? Nope. Oh, but here's our control panel, cockpit for steering. Oh, it came down one direction. Let's just go out this way. Back out here. Oh, this is the green side already. Okay, so it's really just the one wall that separates it. And over here we have biogenerator, so I guess going green using biomass. So I guess that's more of a backup, really, to me. I mean, it's obviously not something you want to use for the most part, because that's a lot of stuff you have to go and manually gather by, you know, shooting plants and everything. So I would stick more to, of course, the deuterium production for that. We have our solar bank in here, which is kind of a nice way to put it in here, so you have it tucked away. Normally you see people doing it around the top part, but instead on the top we have nice glass ceiling, so you can look up, see that it's raining outside. I do like the light pylons. You know, we need more pylons. See, we have our 3 printers all through here, and along with their own little switch here, and it looks like another trunk there, I guess, if you want to switch things around. And our uranium generator, here we go. Okay, so we've got the uranium generator here, along with 2 refineries feeding into it. It looks like this one doesn't exactly have the same input type deal. And then more printers over there. So you've got one side that is just general production, and one side that's more like, hey, live up here And this is, you know, the green room where you got some plants. I guess you could put some kind of stuff in here. If we ever get the ability to grow crops in this, I would assume this is kind of what you would use this area for, is crop production. And then on this side right here, we have our more 3D printers right here. Also a nice little container connector right there. It says biomass storage. And it goes only to the biogenerators. Okay, so this is where you dump in your biomass for them. Interestingly, you've got this little thing, so it's not connecting here. It's got that. That's interesting approach there. I'm not sure what that is meaning to do. Refineries, of course, fad machine. So basically the refinery to produce the deuterium, and then this to produce the water, and then the generator that needs the deuterium in the middle. I would have gone a different direction, but maybe that's something, you know, that still works perfectly fine. We got our armory in the corner. And yeah, that's enough of that. We got a little dock. Okay, this is just the big open docking area. So yeah, bring in a little hover vessel or a small flying vessel. Take off, grab some biomass, and then come right back and get to work doing everything. So yeah, production all on one side. The other side's parking and living. So let's go into here. And obviously we're going that direction, I will assume, because yes, the... we aim in that direction. Now, you probably going to want to zoom way out like I am, because I kind of like the idea of having... Oh, wait, the rotors turn. I'm just not moving. Alright, so up does not make a difference, and that doesn't make a difference. Maybe I don't have them turned on. Maybe by default, they're off. There we go. Turn on, okay. Not sure how our power is going to last with this, but we'll try. They're on. They're spinning. Okay, so it's not forwards and backwards. You have to do, like, space, vertical thrust in order to go. And they're not exactly letting me turn. Or, oh, maybe it is turning just very slowly. Okay, so imagining that we are returning from an excursion to gather from, say, a single mining site somewhere, like what I've got from my my Zeonite at that one location where I have a spot for 2 of these containers to be docked. I would come back here and I'd be, yeah, slowly maneuver my way up above the docking pad. Let me zoom back in a bit for this. I can see a little bit better. And we're going to drop down. I think I am quite a bit off of alignment. Yes, I am. Oh, I'm sinking in. I'm sinking. It's finally. All right. So now I just need to gently lift up. Not that much. Just a little bit. There we go. So yeah, we've docked that in, which means it should be connected in to the network and showing everything going here. So we've got that. We see, yes, we've got green light. So it's docked in through the conveyor connectors. At least one is working. 2 are working. I'm not sure about that other one. But yeah, alright, it's working, which means if I had supplies in it right now, it would be sharing those supplies to the base. And being the green side, it'd be ideally stuff for uranium power, you know, sources. So here, now, let's assume that this is meant to be parked inside rather than just some generic hover vessel, because you need some way to lift these in. And you don't want to, like, go have to fly out to get it and then take this to park it somewhere. You want to take this with you if this is, like, your mobile base. And it does fit. So, yeah, you can basically tie all of these together. Take that with you wherever you're going in the base, and then take your production stuff around with you. if you really wanted to. You still have to build some sites here and there in order to drop the containers off and get supplies from them. But if you're going in just a small limited area, or you're using this as a, I want to put this in one place and leave it kind of thing, so I can come back to it when I need to for production, then that works. Once again, that is the Golem Nomadic Production Facility, and it is coming to us from the Griffin, but it was originally Marcus Aclia. So if you are interested in checking it out, I would encourage you to do so. And if you like the idea of the storage option on it with the droppable container, you may want to adjust and take out the top middle ones for the other container type if you don't like it as much, or you just don't want to worry about two different types of containers. That'll reduce the amount of storage you have, but it will give you a spot for, of course, the Lifter Mark 1 to park up there, and then you can still use a hover vessel on the underside of it if you want to. Alright, so now we're looking at the M50 Explorer by creator Erdenstern. And this one caught my attention because, one, it's got a very flat-looking design, but it also has a lot of capabilities, like you can see huge battery banks here for solar panels. We also have, not here, but I think it's either this, not, yeah, along the sides you can see we have more battery banks, more solar panels, all along the sides. And then on the back, we have more solar panels. So this thing is covered in solar panels, giving you a lot of power production from the sun, and of course a lot of storage for that power through the huge amount of battery bank. And then we have the feet are actually water pumps, which is interesting because A, it means you can land on the ground with it, but it doubles for pumping water. So if you can land in some shallow water, you're fine. If you land in some deep water, you might have to keep things hovering. But, you know, that could always be fixed by adding some floating foundations underneath in some regard, so it's not completely reliant on just having, you know, the vertical thrust. And we come inside. We've got a lot of storage that's linked together. Now, it's interesting. This is all named iron. So you can put all your iron in there, all your silicon in here. It seems like you're still going to be having to manually sort it until we get some mechanism that allows for you to actually sort everything automatically to the different types, which is something I have been asking for. I would like to see added to the game. Refineries, which have a lot of switches around them. Let's see. Medium greenhouses. Okay. Water pumps. Okay. Nothing there. Let's see. This is... Okay, so each printer has its own little switch, so you can turn them on and off individually. Of course, we have food and drink machines. We got more storage in here. What is this storage? Uranium. Okay, so we've got uranium power in here. And a biomass generator, in case you need, like, a quick little backup. I really feel like the solar panels are enough of a backup that if you really needed to, you could get, some uranium production going. And we got more biomass generators over here. That seems out of place to have that instead of just having a deuterium generator and uranium generator right here. Decorative plants, which really, again, are not doing much. Gold. So you've got different segments of your storage. Deuterium. So you've got stuff for storing supplies. Alright, let's try these then. Switch air blades on. Okay, and radar on and off. Well, I've got air blades. Lights are not on, so I'm wondering if they are set like manual. So I guess there's a switch somewhere that says turn all the lights on. And everything else is on its own little manual switch. So let's see if I can fly this thing now. Yes, it flies. So I've got the basic stuff going. Let's see what we get speed-wise. Not the best in terms of acceleration right now, but we are getting decent speed. I mean, no different than what I was getting with the Air Miner. This is definitely a lot heftier than the Air Miner. And turning's okay. Turning's definitely better than the Air Miner, it seems. Let's head over this way. scurrying along the side of my mining rigs over there. We'll go this way and park just barely in the water. Let the water pumps do a little bit of work. So water pumps are here, right? That was it? No, that's radar. There's water pumps in here somewhere. Some water pump thing to control it all. That's not it, but at least I can produce stuff readily from here. Oh wait, that's it, right? Water pumps? Yes. So we're going to turn this on. So now water pumps are going. Do I have a container set for water? Alright, so these just say water, or not even anything on it specifically. That's just connecting to that trunk. It looks like each side is connecting in its own separate way, and it looks to be not just these, but there's actually a full container behind this that we cannot see, and this is just enclosing that container. Yes, it is. So there's a full, large container back there, instead of it just being a massive thing of the small containers, and all you see are the small containers, so it makes it look a little bit nicer than just one big container there. Gives you a little bit more storage as well. Let's see, so I've got, yeah, power going there. That's 4 hours. 310 hours. So the amount of power that's being consumed is definitely oriented more towards deuterium, which is nice. You know, you have deuterium being more of a focus because it's got water pumps for feet. Air blades left. Energy relay, okay. That's probably going to be the right side. So basically all of that is always on. Just leave it alone. And then the other side is this. I like to know how my... wish you could look at these and see like how much solar power you have. How long is it going to last on solar power kind of thing. And this may take a second. There we go, okay. 100%. I'm seeing 12% there. That might be those generators. Let's see. We'll look at the solar bank. The solar bank seems to be 100% all the way across. So it looks like it's doing pretty well in terms of solar power. Now, these are not exactly in line with the sun, so they're not getting a lot of power. But yeah, these are working fine. So it seems like you should be able to run everything off solar power. It may not be the best thing to run it in terms of flight for a long duration, but when you're parked just gathering supplies, you can do that. And here we have dispensers. I honestly would have thought this would be conveyor connectors instead, because you do need some kind of connection system, really. This is great for producing water, but there's no mining rig for it, and we don't seem to have any external attachment locations that I can see for conveyor connectors, meaning no attachment points for an off-site mining rig. So really, you're going to have to go park somewhere, build a little mining rig, kind of like I've got my mining site there, have it powering itself, or have it where this powers it when you land there, like, oh hey, yeah, now tie it in, now the vessel is powering everything, and you just pull everything across. I would honestly switch at least one of these out to a conveyor connector rather than an item dispenser. And so that way you can park and then just connect it over to the side or something like that. Be like, oh, there you go. Now your mining rigs over here are feeding into this. You fly away, go to the next site, gather supplies there, and come back kind of thing. Get supplies as you need. Let's see what I get from this. Not too bad. So we got a few things. Let's toss a few things in there and just see how power does when I'm doing some production as well. Solar has always been a little iffy when you're tossing in actual production to the mix. So I don't know how long this will actually let it last. And oh, what is this for? Lights in the back area. There we go. So they're not automatic. They do have a little switch. That means there should be a lights in the front area, right? So somewhere the lights, you know what? Let's worry about it later. Let's do not refinery. Yeah, we're gonna do the printer. I'm just gonna turn it on, right? There we go. Okay, so it's on. Except yes, the storage areas are completely separated. So you're not getting, if you want to use like your 3D printers, you need everything in this trunk. There's no connection between them. So that's definitely a bit of a drawback there. It does not seem to be recognizing that I have this stuff here. So let's take it out and dump it over here. And then we'll try this again. We'll turn it on. And this is still disconnected. So where is that connection coming through? That's obviously for deuterium production. That storage that goes here connects underneath all of this. So this is for gold, which you don't need a huge amount. And none of this seems to be actually tied into anything. That just sits there. So that's for like item dispenser part. So the connection system seems a little off. Or it may be, you know what? It may be the fact that that is the one on the end. No. I know I've got those materials over there, and it's not letting me produce anything. So there's definitely a weirdness with the conveyor connections in this. Hopefully that will be addressed at some point. If not, and you decide to use this, you may want to actually go through and trace everything back down and figure out where it's going. There's a lot of item dispensers, but no conveyor connectors for outside, which seems weird. I mean, it's great you have all these different dispensers, but it makes me feel more and more like, yeah, each trunk is isolated. And the idea is you have dispensers for doing what you need. Here's replicator containers. So you got to put stuff into the replicator stuff, you know, storage specifically to use with this rather than just having it automatically produce and be available. So once again, this is the M50 Explorer by Erdenstern. Now, I have forgotten to do this in the past, but I will not today. I will have links for both of these designs below if you want to check them out in your own game on the workshop. And that is going to be it for today's designs. Now, both of these are a little bit more expensive than what you might want at the beginning of the game, but once you get things kind of set up and rolling, you should be all right to be able to build these. You may just need a lot of storage space for all the parts you need. But that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.